Here's what Davis said to ESPN last night. I had great hopes for Josh and Dave. It just seemed we were going in the wrong direction. So with the trade deadline, I just felt it was time to make a change, time to make a move. I don't know why the trade deadline had anything to do with it.
Right.
I don't understand that. And this gets back to my point. And I'm not going to do the whole bit again, Chris, but we've been down this road before with guys like Jim Irsay, and here we are with Mark Davis. People who just happen to be in the right place at the right time with the right DNA to own a football team. No qualifications, not fit, not objectively capable of doing it. And I spent maybe 10 minutes yesterday making the case that if Mark Davis truly loves the Raiders, he should get the hell out of the way. Either sell the team or hire somebody to operate as the owner on his behalf. Because he's the common thread. He's the guy who's hired all these coaches he's eventually fired. And he's the guy who conspired with John Gruden behind Jack Del Rio's back, even though they had the same agent. Still have never figured out how that worked. And if the agent's a lawyer, how's the agent not disbarred for working behind your one client's back to get the other client the job that your first client has? That went down several years ago. Then Rich Bisaccia takes the team to the playoffs. He doesn't get, it seems, fair consideration for the job. He gets thrown overboard. You go out and you make the move for Josh McDaniels, then you give up on it a season and a half in. You never should have hired him. This isn't should he have been fired. If you weren't willing to be patient with this process, you never should have hired him in the first place. Now, we don't have the benefit of what was going on behind the scenes, and maybe it really was bad behind the scenes. But, you know, between the buyouts and the firings and just this idea, if this team feels lost, ultimately Davis is the captain of the ship. And one of the reasons it feels lost is because of him, and he's the one that's going to have to make the next hire. So why do we have faith that he's suddenly going to make a great hire when he hasn't made one yet?
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you there. I hear you. It's a tough one. I mean, again, it is the family business. It hasn't gone well for him, right? I mean, it got, he's taken over for his dad, who is beyond a legend of legends when it comes to, NFL hierarchy. So it's not an easy spot there. I think cash flow has been an issue there with keeping players, whatever else, free agents. That's all been issues. And those are things, too, that I would go, that's not necessarily that's where I'll defend Mark Davis. It's not all on him. Had to go deal with a city that, he was in the worst stadium in NFL football. It wasn't even close. And
they moved back. I know. They didn't have to move back there. And
I
didn't have to move back there. They could have stayed in L.A.
Oh, well, that was his dad, though, so that wasn't him. He didn't take part in that discussion there, right? And then so, he's stuck there in that spot. That certainly didn't help things out. And, let's not sugarcoat it. The the Oakland Coliseum was not only the worst stadium in the NFL, it would be the worst stadium in any Division I college football team. It's not even, it's a shithole, right? It was the black hole that was a shithole, all right? So that's where it's a little tough too, okay? Bam, double whammy on a Thursday morning. But, yeah, I think those things worked against him a little bit. I guess that's where I got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for him there. But, yeah, this is tough. And then the John Gruden situation, hey, it looked like he made the right hire there. We can all say whether we like John Gruden or not, but yeah, John and his he
won 22 out of 53 games.
Well, they were on the way to the playoffs. He got Derek Carr going. That was at least working the right way. It was a team that went to the playoffs. It was headed in, it looked like, the right direction. Except Gruden messed that up.
John Gruden. John Gruden rode Tony Dungy's defense to a championship, and he didn't do jack diddly shit after that.
Well,
his record after 2002 was jack diddly shit.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the greatest thing ever.
If we're going to go S-bombs today.
Yeah. But they were headed in a positive direction there. It wasn't perfect. I know that. He had his little schism with Mayock. And, of course, his big mouth got him in trouble with all the things he says behind the scenes and emails anyways. So I guess that's where I'm trying to defend Mark Davis. I understand what you're saying. I totally do, right? I think, though, when you unpack this situation, and as much as I like Josh McDaniels, I think it's very fair to question some of the things that went on. I do. Whether it's Garoppolo, like we're talking about, they signed Derek Carr to an extension. That didn't work. the Josh Jacobs, wait, we're not going to give you a fifth-year option, so now you didn't practice, you're not in shape, but now we're going to give you the fifth-year option money to come back and play here, right? There's that. They gave an extension to Darren Waller with big money and got, what, a few games out of him. They gave Hunter Renfrow an extension with big money. He can't even see the field or play at all, right? The drafts haven't worked out like you explained. There's no quarterback.
You missed the two most important ones. They go out and make the big trade for Devontae Adams.
I was getting there. Yes, right.
Okay, and they signed Chandler Jones.
I was getting there
Jones
too.
Jones is gone now.
Of course, right.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
I know.
Sorry.
Don't cut me off, counselor. I have a list. I wrote it all down. But yes, so that's what I'm saying. As much as I am a believer in let the Patriot way work, there's enough things on the checklist here where I can go, damn, I understand the owner making that decision. I don't think it's like, wow, it's that crazy, right? I didn't expect it to happen right now, but I think we've seen crazier is my point. And I guess that's where, it's a tough one. It really is. And I hate to see Josh McDaniels get fired. You know that. But I guess I can see Mark Davis's side of the story a little bit is what I'm saying.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.